Hey everybody, welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair. We've waited long enough. It's 82cc challenge time. We're going to get it done. So we're going to start by going through the competitors and making sure they all still run, because some of these I prepped 2 years ago. Good news is so far I haven't popped a gas cap that smells like rotten rancid in there. So that's a plus. I think we'll be fine. But let's go into a little detail, because I've called it the 82cc challenge. Originally it was just Homelite and McCulloch, Ford, Chevy, that kind of crap. But then, a few other saws came into the mix, and we're varying slightly from the 82cc's. Some manufacturers didn't make one that was 82cc's, but I wanted to get as many saws in here as possible and as my budget could afford. So, we're going to have 5 total competitors. Number 1 is this Poulan 5200, and obviously the starter's been replaced. This is not a collector's grade saw. The rubber's missing from the handle. I don't care, it runs. At least it did. So I'm going to just quote facts and figures using Mike Akers' website for all models, just to be consistent. This saw is an 85cc, so it starts off with a little bit of an advantage. Now, 3cc's, is that a big difference? In my mind, I don't think so. I guess we'll find out. If it runs away with the contest, we can always say, well, heck, it was bigger. Of course it was going to win. My guess is they're all going to be pretty close, but for fairness and full disclosure, 85cc's. This saw would have been introduced around 1975 and discontinued roughly around 1980. Should have a Tillotson HS carburetor, which means it should have a governor, which means it should be operating on the same level as the rest of these. There was one of these saws that didn't have a governor, and I don't remember which one. And by governor, I mean carburetor governor. We're talking about the little pulse-actuated one that's basically a check ball in the carb itself. Should be an electronic ignition system, so that will not be consistent across the board here. Some of these will have a points ignition system. Poulan rated this for 3/8 inch chain, 16 to 36 inches. So, pretty standard. This does have 5/16 bar studs. So I've got to make a decision on whose bar we're going to use. And it may come down to, I pull one off the shelf and just fit a new chain to it. We've got 5/16 and 3/8 bar studs throughout this. And I'm just going to use the same bar with a little slop on the 5/16 studs for a couple cuts. It's not going to matter. But let's see if our 5200 wants to show us some love. God, a lot of compression. Baby. Oh, this is not the best way to start this. Would be nice if all of the saws actually ran. Let's see, this is the one I've spent the least amount of time on and done the least amount of work. Some of these fasteners, probably none of them are original on this cover. We're going to just help this thing see the light. That air filter's seen better days too. hopefully that's enough to keep her primed for the day of the challenge. As I really don't want to have to dink around with this kind of stupid stuff while we're up on the hill, you know what I mean? You guys don't either. Oiler works phenomenal on this thing, by the way. That short little bit of run time has the chain good and soaked. Alright, see if I can do this without tripping and killing myself. Contestant number 2. Homelite XL 923. And I'm honestly not sure that I have run this since I restored it. That's a silly thing to not remember, but I don't. I don't think I have. So, this one may be another pain in the butt to start. But, XL923. This one's older. Acres doesn't have a year introduced, but saying a year discontinued of 1974. So that thing was finishing up its run just as that one was getting started. So this does have a... hold on. This should have an electronic ignition. No, it's a 923. If I said 924, I'm a jackass. It's a 923, so it does have points ignition, which is not the end of the world, but it's not a apples to apples 100%. This one is a true 82 cc's, 5.01 cubic inches. It's a reed valve saw. It's that Poulan. See, I didn't rehearse my shtick here quite enough. Does not say. I would guess being a vertical cylinder, but still from 74, it's got to be a reed valve. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that, and that could happen. Tillotson HS series, again, this should have a governor in it, and I'm 99% certain that that car does have a governor. Excuse me. Again, Homelite, recommended 3/8 pitch chain, 16 to 36-inch bar. I've got a 24 on there, because like I say, this was one I restored. I got this saw from Howe, and it ran good, but it looked very, very poor. So, I stripped it down and repainted it, and I actually think this will be the first run since I did that. So hopefully, I didn't line this tank, so I'm going to be very careful. I don't want to get the paint bubbles that I've had on some of these tank seams. That problem is one I've only solved by splitting the tanks and painting them separately when I can. Not every saw can do that. And that cap needs to be repaired. But we will see if we can get a cold start out of this thing without giving me too much of a workout. That's a stiff mechanism. Oh yeah, baby. Be cold-blooded. Man, that decompression is something else. What are you doing? Come on. God, did I flood it? Oh, this is going so well, folks. I'm enjoying this. Oh, good God. I don't want a drop start saw that heavy. I'm not enjoying that at all. I never heard it fire a second time. Huh. Piece of trash shortening between the contact and the electrode here. I don't know what the hell that was. We'll check our spark. Come on. Ah, there we go. Hopefully that got out of the system. That's why you do a test run before you go up to the hill. And it would have been smoother to just start these things off camera and then come back and go, hey, look at this, everything's great. But in case somebody out there has a grand idea to do something dumb like what I'm doing here, here's all the hoops you're going to jump through to get there. Come on. Okay. Also, excellent chain oiler. Already wet. Alright. I'm going to have to mop up all that oil on the floor. Getting a workout here. I already cut wood today, so I don't need another workout. Victim number 3, excuse me, contestant number 3. I couldn't resist a little McCulloch humor here. McCulloch Super Pro 81. A saw that gets plenty of runtime and airtime on YouTube. Not mine, somebody else's. You know who. So, the McCulloch Super Pro 81 is an 82cc saw. In fact, I think its bore is almost exactly the same as that 923. This one, introduced in 1973, discontinued in early 1977, so roughly a 4-year model run. This one is not, yep, a breaker point system, that's what I was going to say. I thought it would be points ignition. This one may actually have a Walbro SDC carburetor on it. I don't remember. And the last thing I cut was some punky Doug fir. Yeah, this is an SDC. And, dun dun dun, it's not governed. So, always said I would make any adjustments needed to these things the morning of the cut. I actually believe this saw has a slight advantage, not having that carburetor governor. Not a huge advantage, but it should have a slight advantage. So 3/8 inch chain. Now this is interesting. I don't know where this information would have been pulled from, but supposedly 16 inch was the shortest bar and 28 inch was the longest supplied bar. That's possible, and that's what I've got on it right now. And I actually, this is one of my first attempts at a square grind, and it's not bad, but I'm not going to say that it's good. It's a good round hand file will probably cut as quickly as this, but hey, I was having fun. So, what the hell? Let's see if this little demon will fire off. Well, Fuel smells good. Not a lot in there, but it should be enough for a test run. I'll tell you, one thing I like about the Homelite and the McCulloch is there's a compression release. Damn Poulan does not have one. Come on, baby. That is the best sounding saw of the three so far, I think. I don't know how well that'll come through on the video here, but in the shop, my ears, through those earmuffs, say this thing sounds badass. Chain oiler is working much better than my vocabulary, which I suppose is no giant surprise. Alright, I need to find a place to put this and not damage anything. Okay, next up, Pioneer P51. Now this one, that's interesting. That one's got a 3/8 bar stud. I might spin up a new chain. This is a semi-skip. But those teeth are filed pretty far back. There's one missing right there. Yeah, this might be the bar we end up running. That's a good length. We're not going to be cutting anything even close to that capacity. 14, 16 inch at best. Got to go with what I have available. So, that'll be the bar. Alright. Get to the product page here. The P51, introduced in 1978, discontinued in 1982, probably followed by the P52, if I had to take a wild, uneducated guess. Both Walbro and Tillotson carbs available. I am almost certain that is a Tilly. It is governed. It's a Walbro, but it is governed. 82 cc's, right on the money. Again, same bore as the Homelite and the McCulloch. Reed valve saw. Supposed to be electronic ignition, which again, with the time period that it was, that's not surprising in one bit. 3/8 chain, 16 to 36 inches long, supplied originally. Oh, let's see. Fuel in it. Not rotten. Let's see if this one will fire off. So far, we are 3 for 3. I'm not going to count that prime on the Poulan as a strike against it, because it, again, is the saw I spent the least amount of time with. Compression release. I love it. Brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. That screwdriver doesn't belong. If that door bangs one more time, I might go crazy. Crazy-er. I don't think I ever took this saw up and actually cut firewood with it like I did the McCulloch. But it was a strong runner when I had it running. That's probably enough to get it going. Wow. Huh. Boy, I'm gonna not be happy if I have to go into the carb of this thing. Choke likes to move itself. I think we got it. Come on, baby. This thing has the second most badass sound. And again, I'm not sure if the video caught it. But this wad of sawdust shot all the way over to my damn door. I did take this up and cut with it. I had to have. So what I'm going to do prior to the challenge is I'll dump what fuel is left in here and run some fresh through it. Obviously something had blockaded in the carburetor and said, "No, I don't want to run." Alright. The last one is actually a new addition to my fleet. I have cut with this for 2 days in a row now, cutting firewood. I've cut with it 3 total days, and I like it. An Echo CS8000. I've always had a soft spot for Echoes because I like their consumer warranty. 5 years consumer warranty is better than anything that was ever offered by any one of those companies there. So I respect that, and I've run a lot of Echo outdoor power equipment. Okay, now, we're doing this for fun, so this one doesn't totally fit the mold either. One, it's a little bit new. Introduced in 1985, discontinued in 2014. I think the CS800 and 802, or maybe it's 802 and 8002, completed the run through, I think, about 2018. This one being a gray cased saw, it is later. Now, I haven't been able to find one of those emissions stickers that has a date on it. It says, "Hey, dummy, this is when it was made, which is a little surprising, but the gray one is the later version from what I can understand. So, I don't know. This was probably built in the early 2000s. It's definitely electronic ignition, but it's old school otherwise, a Walbro HDA carburetor. As to whether it has a governor on it, I have no idea. I haven't been in there to check. I bought the saw as a runner, and that's exactly what I've done, is I've run and cut with it. It feels old school. It sounds old school. It's heavy like old school. Metal, metal, plastic, plastic. Metal, metal, metal. I like it. My back feels the same after using that as it would any one of those other saws. I actually like that. So, this one is 80.7 cc's. The bore and stroke are just minusculely smaller and shorter than the true 82 cc's, so 81 cc. That's what I'm calling it. Like I say, Walbro HDA carburetor. 3/8 chain. Shortest bar 20, longest bar 36. So the notes on color scheme: orange with black filter cover and handle grips, later series gray and black. So again, this one I'm going to guess is in the 2000s. Whatever. I can tell you for certain it'll run because I ran it earlier today. So let's take a listen. No decompression valve. Okay. I think that one has a little more that I can do in the way of tuning on it. I don't think I'm hitting max RPM. But what I can tell you is with that skip tooth full chisel chain, oh boy does it cut. Those chips that are all over the floor now are from Madrone. Some people call it Laurel, some people call it Arbutus, whatever. It is Pacific Madrone. Green, but still, it'll take a nice round, like, you know, and just pretty nice. It's a good cutting saw. So there we go. There are the Challengers. They all run today, which means they will run the day of the cut. I'm going to take the bar off of that Pioneer, and I'll spin up a new chain, a full comp chain. Full comp, full chisel chain. And we'll run that bar on every saw for its cuts. It's going to be Doug fir, I'm almost certain of that. It's going to be unseasoned, I'm almost certain of that. And it's going to be somewhere around 12 to 14 inches. We're going to fall the tree the day of and try to keep it off the ground. We'll let those branches hold it up with any luck. I'm hoping it'll soft land enough that I don't have to worry about getting the chain in the dirt and all of that. So, anyhow, that's chapter 1 of the 82cc challenge. Okay, day before the 82cc challenge, I'm getting this chain prepped, and it's a new chain. Oregon. This side's been filed right there. See a little bit of, come on baby, there we go. It's about as good as I'm going to get. Nice working edge. This side's been filed. That's the last tooth I filed. That is sharp. So what I'm doing, besides spinning you guys in a circle, and get a view down here. what I'm doing with this, despite, yeah, I'm counting strokes. I don't need to, but I like a symmetrical chain. Call it OCD, call it whatever you want. I don't care. It's a brand new chain. I'm just touching it up. Shoot. There we go. I'm gonna knock you guys over. But I need my file. Anyway, so I'm just touching it up. And I've only got... Where am I at? Just a few more teeth to go here. I don't need to get aggressive. Not at all. Okay. Good enough. That is sharp. I could fillet my thumb right open if I wanted to. And then, I'm using, I bought these from Bailey's. They're not the Carlton Filoplate, but I'm sure they're based on that. I think this is a Husqvarna branded one. But again, I bought it from Bailey's, so that's where we came from. You see it's marked 3/8, soft and hard. I like to go for the soft setting. That took about 10 swipes of the file to get the factory Oregon gauge down to where that would be on this gauge. So that's what I'm going to do with every single tooth. Now this is a full comp chain. Just Oregon's run-of-the-mill 72 series. So it's a good chain. I mean, I like their chain a lot. Stays sharp a long time, but it's not so hard that I can't file it well. And that's one of my complaints about steel chains, is that every once in a while you get one that the cutters are too hard and it's a pain in the ass to file. So anyhow, this is the process. I'm not going to make you guys surfer through the whole thing. This is enough. You'll have to trust that I'm going to go ahead and do that. It'd be dumb to do part of it and not. But go ahead and finish up the chain, and tomorrow we're going to be up on the mountain. Alright, it's finally the day. We're doing the 82cc challenge. Behind me, you can see a firewood log. The actual one that we're going to be cutting on is even further back. We're going to cut some discs off of that back to that knot area with any luck. So I'll change the camera angle when it comes time for that. What I'm going to do is start each saw, cut a couple chunks of firewood to warm it up, and then I'll do a final tune. I brought my tack so that I can just kind of, verify that my ear is saying the same thing as what the engine is saying. Yeah, so we'll just see. This thing, this Pioneer, we're going to do it first, P51. It's been a miserable little pain about starting, so I already gave it about 15 pulls and got it to fire. So it won't take too long with any luck. Come on. There's number one. I get the bar switched over to another saw, and I have no idea what GoPro is trying to tell me there. Alright, our next contestant is well tuned. I've been using it up here this week. But I also made a very critical mistake the other day, and we had a little burn pile, and the wind came up, and I didn't like where the wind was blowing those flames in relation to my pickup. Unfortunately, I should have been paying attention to where this echo was in relation to my pickup, because I ran over it. Yeah, I know. You always say, how the hell does that happen? Now I know. You lose track of your equipment, and you don't pay attention when you should. So, I need to replace the front handle, chain brake handle, starter cover. I found the handle on the brake flag. The gray starter cover is a little tougher, but it's holding together enough. It'll run for this challenge. Thankfully. What a mistake. That was silly. GoPro is doing. I don't know if the screen's supposed to go blank when it's still recording or not as an energy saver. I don't know. Guess I'll find out. I know at least this thing's recording. So far, Pioneer's faster. This thing doesn't have quite the low end torque that it did, the Pioneer. So, we'll bolt on another bar. We'll do another. Boy, did that turn on? Are you kidding me? God, I don't know what recorded anywhere. Okay, I'm not sure how much I got of that. That's upsetting. Those were a couple of really good runs. I'm gonna try this again. Much as I didn't want to. Alright, I know we got that. That wood hasn't decreased in size much at all. Once again, I think we have a new leader of the pack. That's just a gut feel. But I think that McCulloch is faster so far. Okay, I had to change our vantage point a little bit. The sun's getting past those trees. I'm taking too long. It has been a glorious pain in the ass putting the same bar on each one of these saws. Let me assure you of that. Oh, come on. Alright. As good a shot as that log as I'm going to get. Air filter covers rattling around and makes it sound kind of ratty, if I do say so myself. That was another strong pull. That's going to be a close one between the McCulloch and this. I think the Pioneer is in number 3, Echo in number 4 right now. So, let's get this bar on the 923. We'll see what happens. I gotta figure out why she won't idle. That's kind of not cool. Need to idle a little bit. hoping that this thing's still recording. Having some fun problems with that today, of all the days. All right. That last cut went right through a knot. I'm just seeing that. Trying to get some clean cuts without touching that bar into the dirt. This thing's got a lot of power, but it's not as fast as the McCulloch or the Poulan. I would say it's close to the Pioneer. I have to, put the stopwatch on it and really see, but the governor on that carburetor won't let the engine get much above about 10.5. And that was what Homelite wanted. You saw these other saws that were getting closer to 11. It's going to make a difference. Not that much difference, but a difference. Long and the short of it is they're all good saws, and anybody who wanted one in a collection, or all of them, I'd say absolutely. They're great saws. So, yeah, you can't go wrong. And I think I'm going to put the bar back on that. I think I'm going to put it back on the Pioneer so that I can finish cutting all this up and make firewood instead of cookie rounds here. But any day that you can bring out, well, 4 vintage and 1 sort of vintage saws and make sawdust like that, that's a good day right there. Alright, so here are the final results. These are as accurate as I could possibly get them. McCulloch walked away with it. Let's be real. They really did. That 5.85, that's a quick time, and it made quick cuts. Again, I think it was holding at just a slightly higher RPM with the lack of governor, but it's a fast saw. It's just a fast saw. The Pioneer and the Poulan were real close in there, and same thing with that run on the 923, the second run. Even though there was a knot there that I thought was holding it back, it did quite well. So, yeah, the results speak for themselves. It was a lot of fun, and hopefully, yeah, you guys enjoyed it.